Big news dropping. Blizzard put out all the 12.0.7 content. It's another massive in-between patch. I mean, I can't believe the shit we're getting in this thing. It'll probably drop broken as shit again, but hey, at least they're trying, I guess, because we're getting a ton of content. So we got a lot of stuff to get into here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight in. 12.0.7, get ready for the showdown, as Blizzard says. In the next content update, take the next step in thwarting the forces of the Void, hunting down their leaders and uncovering new sources of power. Players will also face a new single boss raid, Sporefall, which we've talked about quite a bit. A new Turbulent Timeways returns with Dragonflight Dungeons as a new slate of rewards, so that's going to be exciting. Get ready for the showdown. Now, this is the interesting one. Guys, we're getting new zones in an in-between patch. This is not a full 0.1 patch here, so this is going to be interesting here. Facing the Voids, facing the forces of the Void and Void assaults and ritual sites isn't enough to stop their machinations. To cut the threat off at its source, you'll need to hunt down the leaders behind these brutal attacks on Azeroth. Track them through the portal in Voidstorm, leading to two new locations. That's right, we have Nygatal and Val. Okay, these are the two new zones. One of them looks very, Sporefall-y. It kind of fits the Haranir zone look. And then this one right here looks like a frozen, I can see the Void Spire back there or something back there that looks very voidy. Looks almost like a frozen Dragonflight zone mixed with Void Spire shit. So this is going to be interesting. I'm excited for this. And we got, like I said, two new zones. So let's see how Blizzard describes these zones. We have Nygatal, a fungal, arcane-rich zone. The world now occupied by an insidious ethereal faction known as the Hal Hadar. Okay, so I'm guessing this is some kind of Haranir faction cutoff or something like that. That's what this sounds like. So a fungal arcane-rich zone, probably some Haranir that got into arcane magic, if I had to guess, just based on this description. And then we have Val here, an icy world once inhabited by the Legion, where the Dominar Imperator Pertinax has established his bastion of power. So we have some kind of new, I guess the Legion's getting it, was previously involved here, and now the Void is taking it over. So another interesting sounding zone. This looks like a snowed out cold zone. Yeah, so this is really cool. I bet Blowilar's not, no, he's not, okay. The portal to these worlds is unstable and switches destinations every few days, bringing a rotational set of challenges and experiences. Players can undertake world quests, defeat rare enemies, take part in events, and ultimately have a showdown with the leaders as world bosses. So this is some new open world content. This portal right here is going to be changing where it takes us, I guess, between these two zones for now. And some new open world content every couple days. It does sound fun. Yeah, I agree. This does sound cool. Again, for a 0.7 patch, I don't think we've ever gotten anything like this. A completely new, I guess, two new zones. You got to count as two new. We've gotten like a little island here or there and shit like that, but two new zones where you can do world quests in, kill a bunch of stuff, do a bunch of things. So this actually looks like a fun-filled 0.7 patch for sure. There's also something else called the Omnium Folio. I'm not exactly sure what this thing's about yet, but it's going to be some kind of like power scaling thing that we're going to be doing here. So join Magister Umbric and Grand Magister Romath on a mission to reconfigure and restore the Sunstrider Omnium. This ancient elven relic was originally created by Dathramar Sunstrider to study and observe the various schools of magic and to serve as an academic repository. After years of silence, the Sunstrider Omnium has now reawakened, unsettling the Magisters and sowing disarray among them. Once unlocked, you'll be entrusted with the Omnium Folio. Maybe this is a trinket or something? A runic ledger containing powerful runes of power you can use in battle. Continue taking part in the weekly activities to imbue more runes, customizing these initial runes and unlocking their maximum potential to aid you in fighting against the Void. So this is going to be our new, empower this item, keep this item going. Just like kind of like the ring was back in the 0.7 patch that we got last expansion. So, I guess this is our new power thing that will be power scaling throughout the rest of this patch. Sam, you're talking about this like you will ever see it. You will be trying to kill dragons still. Look, Obviously, there's still a bunch of raid content we can do in the game besides this shit, but this looks like, I mean, with this new Omnium Folio, looks like I'm going to be able to kill bosses a little bit easier, because this sounds like it's going to be a freaking big dick item that we're going to have. So that sounds interesting. We got the new Sporefall raid. Now, there's a new thing on this raid that we weren't even expecting, but I'll talk about that in a second here. Sporefall is obviously the new single boss raid. We've talked about this, located in Haradar. Well, you'll face a fungal giant, Rotmir. The raid will be available in Raid Finder, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic difficulties, and we already talked about this one before. It'll be a flexible group, 15 to 25 players. So this one's is going to be interesting. And one other thing about the raid that I'll get into here in a second, but the gear, it's going to be different than anything we've ever seen in Mythic Raid before. So we'll get into that for a second here. Lore walking with the Loa. That's right. We got lore walking stuff. I've talked about this for quite a while now, that I'm like, where are the Loa stories? We had all these great Loa stories. We got some right in the Amani Troll quest lines and stuff, but it feels like they've kind of gone away. Well, it looks like Blizzard's preparing us for probably what will be an Amani Troll 0.1 patch here ahead of us. So we're going to do some lore walking with Lore Walker Lili. You'll dive deeper into the stories of the Zandalari, Drakari, Gurubashi, and Darkspear trolls. We're gonna get we got a uniting of the elves. Why don't we get a uniting of the trolls? Yeah, so this will be pretty cool. I'm excited for some more lore. The lore walking stuff's always fun. We'll get into this stuff. Yeah, so getting into the Loa once again. And then here we have more Loa stuff. Help Loa speaker Breck hatch John Alai's eggs. I probably said that so wrong. With the return of John Alai, I'll go with that interpretation. Loa of Fire comes the return of past traditions. She's ready to bring a new clutch of eggs into the world, but Loa speaker Breck requires assistance with the ceremony and with ensuring all the Loas are young are released safely from their eggs. Be a part of the welcoming the first of her offspring and protecting them as they take their first steps. So there you go. Yeah, we're gonna do a hatchery, I guess, or some kind of probably daily quest line or something you could do with this stuff. Maybe a new pet. Yeah, maybe a new pet could come of this thing. A dragon daycare. Yeah, that does sound like what this will be. We'll see what this thing is. Sounds like some kind of repeatable, if I had to guess, some kind of repeatable world quest or something like that. Begin the next chapter with Zul'Jan. So we are getting more Amani Troll lore here. When the Haranir call for a special gathering, Zul'Jan attends the Amani representatives, okay, only to be drawn into an ancient mystery surrounding the legacy of the Amani trolls. Join him and his uncle Kinduru on their journey of discovery to uncover the truth. This content will arrive after the release of the update. So we're getting more story tropes here, more story stuff going forward. Amani Troll, this sounds like with the Loa and this new Amani Troll story quest line, we're obviously laying the ground for more Amani Troll shit coming in 0.1. I think it's not a well-hidden secret at this point. Yeah, 0.1 is going to be Isle of Fangs, Amani Troll shit. So yeah, of course, we're getting a prelude into that with the 0.7 patch. And then we got Turbulent Timeways returning with a bunch of Dragonflight. So we're going to get a Dragonflight time walking stuff. This should be pretty fun, as well as a new mount. Man, this mount looks absolutely glorious. I gotta have it. Yeah, this is an icy boy here. I might change my entire transmog to match this thing. But this will add 6 Dragonflight dungeons into the rotation. All new rewards, including the mount that you see in that image there. And yeah, good. I like the Turbulent Timeways stuff. Cool new items to spend my shit on, because I have a lot of those badges that I'm just kind of holding right now because I don't see anything that I like. This will definitely be something that I spend it on. We got the new micro holiday, the Darkspear Dash. Join the Darkspear trolls and their Zandalari allies as they race through the Echo Isles to Silvermoon City for an in-game event inspired by the running of the Trolls community event. So that's fine. And then that's... This, by the way, was something that the community was already doing. Basically, Blizzard has established as an official event in the game now. And then more user interface updates. We'll talk about those because I actually have a lot more to get into about that. Speaking of the UI updates, let's just get straight into it here. We're getting more UI updates. Blizzard, removing add-ons. They've been adding a bunch of this shit into the game now for a while, and they continue to add more stuff in there. So, yeah, oh, good, more UI updates. Yeah, we need this stuff. So in terms of boss timelines and the vertical orientation, now has an option to set text to be to the left or right, adjusting colors to gaining threat and high threat on raid frames and name. This is great. Good, because as a tank, I'll be honest, the in-game shit from Blizzard it doesn't always do the best job of showing who has threat. It's got like glowy bits and stuff, but I just wish there was some more shit. This is great. I've been waiting for this one as a tank. Adding a new option to enable or disable spell alerts. Spell alert glows for special procs when having the single button assist on the action bar. The Great Vault Raid tooltip now displays credit for multiple raids in a better format. And then specifically here, a lot of stuff about damage meters. They added in-group visibility option, lowered the minimum window size, allowing you to make the damage meters even smaller than you can right now. Shift-clicking the damage meter row now opens a details window that stays open until manually closed. During PvP activities, damage meter bars now turn to a different color, showing who's your ally and who's your enemy. You could also, if the show class color option is enabled, a faction icon will be added instead of changing the actual colors. That's great for PvPers out there. The personal resource display is now much more customizable. New options include controlling overall size, bar width, health bar height, power bar height, padding between the bars, opacity, and visibility. Good. More customizations always welcome there. The health bar and power bars can now be hidden separately instead of previously just having a single button option that hid both at once. Added options to hide the class resource bar. Combo points / soul shards are the examples given here on a personal resource display and player unit frame. They also added a show class color checkbox, which changes the health bar to players' class colors instead of the default green. So I know a lot of people had their health bars previously set up like that. That's a nice customization option. They also added the show bar text checkbox, which enables numbers on the health bars, power bar, and alternate power bars. This is a great one too. The personal resource display has been updated with new art, and a few personal resource display bugs have been fixed for augmentation evokers. I guess they were having trouble with that. These are all great changes. I said it a while ago, and I'll keep saying it. Look, I know the in-game shit right now that Blizzard's giving us is obviously behind add-ons, which have been iterating on themselves for, well, like a decade now. So yeah, they're definitely moving in the right direction. Every single patch seems like we're getting more stuff added in. I currently play without add-ons at all, completely add-on free. Kick the habit. And it's been just fine. It's getting even better, though, with this stuff. So this is all welcome changes here. Now, moving on to the thing that I talked about with the new Mythic Raid, flex stuff and everything going on. There's another change coming with this Mythic Raid. For the first time ever, Loot in Mythic Raid will be Warbound equipped, meaning you could trade Myth Track gear to your alts by completing a Mythic difficulty raid. That's right. So we already know Blizzard's going for the first time ever with Flex Mythic raiding. We'll see if this changes, but as of right now, the raid loot that is coming from that Mythic raid, you'll be able to trade it to your alt, so your alt will be able to rock Mythic raid gear without ever having stepped in a raid. Now, this is interesting. One thing that people are looking at right here, right now with this is, okay, you're going to do this, but does that mean you're going with personal loot in this dungeon? Because one thing you don't want happening is people rolling need because they need it on their main, but then you got other people in the raid who don't need the item but are rolling need for their alts. That's something you don't want to see, right? That's kind of messed up. I can almost guarantee this will be broken at launch. I would put money on that as well. Like I said, I don't know if Blizzard's going to change this or if they're just going with personal loot for this dungeon or what, but as the loot system currently stands, I don't think this would work. Having people roll need for their alts would be a completely fucked up, broken system. You'd have a lot of people getting angry, knowing that, hey, this guy just showed up. He doesn't need this for the character he just showed up on, but he's rolling need for his alts, even though he already won it last week kind of shit. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. We'll see how this all works, or if this is just binds Warband until equipped thing is a mistake, and Blizzard patches this out. But for now, that's how this looks like it's going to work. Moving on to the good shit, guys. We got mounts. We got 12.0.7 mounts. Abdullah L. I'm going to try to say your last name, but thank you so much, man. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate that. Okay, first look at some of the mounts coming. We already know this one right here, man. Glorious. The new Time Walking Dungeon mount. Oh, man. Give me more of these. Give me more of these Elemental Proto-Drakes. So an Icy Boy here. This freaking thing looks great. We got new rocket mounts. Yeah, I would have thought we would have gotten these with, like, the Undermine patch or something. But, yeah, all new rocket mounts. These things look great. It's rockets strapped to a rocket. Yeah, we're not compensating for anything on this one. But this is a great-looking mount, though, I have to admit. I like the frontal cone animation here. These mounts right here, currently brought to you by Iran. And then we also have some little board here, little voidy board. So this one's pretty cool. A Void surfboard. Yeah, I'm not a big surfboard mount fan at all, but this one kind of looks cool. It's got a little voidy boy behind the back there. The Storm Crow mount and the Void Forged mech suit. So this one actually looks like one of the beefiest mech suits I've ever seen. Damn, this boy's big. So nice voidy mech suit. Not sure how we're going to get that one. The Storm Crow mount right here. This one looks pretty damn cool. A white and blacked out Storm Crow. And then the Spore Bat mount. This one's interesting. Looks like a new play on the Dragonhawk mount. That's right. Looks like it's built on the same skeleton as Dragonhawk, but they're going with a sporey boy looking one. Maybe this one drops in the raid. I don't know, but this is a pretty cool looking mount as well. So those are the mounts for now. We also have a little pet here that is coming in 12.0.7, the baby fairy dragon pet, with the dragon flight stuff coming and all that. I'm sure we're gonna get more dragon shit in this patch. So yeah, another fairy dragon pet if you want that one. And then these are pretty cool. We got some new Dwarf Griffin models. Now, these are not mounts necessarily. These colorways are freaking amazing. I do want them as a mount. But these are data mined right now. They don't have saddles on them, which means they're not mounts. And yes, as much as a lot of you WoW players love to ride bareback, you won't be riding these bareback. We'll see if any one of these end up getting saddles. But as I said before, the colorways, glorious, man. We need these. These are great looking griffins for sure. We can always use more colorways on griffins. I always think griffins are great looking mounts. We also have store items coming in. Right, we talked about these before. We got the new monkey boys showing up, 25 bucks a pop for these on the WoW store. Honestly, some of the cooler looking. I'm not a big WoW store, Andy. I don't buy shit off the WoW store really, unless I'm doing a giveaway on my stream. But yeah, these are pretty cool. These are pretty cool. Obviously built off the big gargoyle structure there. But two different colorways here, 25 bucks each. You can get these things off the WoW store. And finally, a big housing bundle. The biggest one we've seen yet. $75 worth of Hearth Steel to get this bundle. But if you want to turn your house into a tree house, this is the way to do it, guys. Yeah, basically turning your entire WoW home into a treehouse home. This thing looks absolutely great. I mean, look at it. Yeah, if you really love, living in a treehouse, it's always been your thing, you've always wanted it. Yeah, these two packs are pretty damn great. You can also buy all the items seen here separately with your Hearth Steel. Everything they're showing here can be bought separately, but if you buy the package, you can go ahead and get all of the different treehouse items together all at once. As I said before, $75 to get the total package here. What does it include? All of these. You got the two customization options for your outer house looking shit. You got the two treehouse, and then you got all these items coming. As I said before, you can see the prices here. You can also get all these separate items separately, but buying the package probably is the best way to save money on this if you actually want to do it. 75 bucks for this one. I mean, that's basically a tank of gas these days. So yeah, if you want to buy housing shit, you can go ahead and do that. And for today, that is all in terms of news.